Hi guys, hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's me, Ogechi. Welcome. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Talk On Soon. So for this video, I am going to be sharing my thoughts on financial abuse. This morning, whilst I was finding it difficult to sleep, I decided to go on my YouTube, and then I came across a video of Serena promoting awareness for financial abuse. I'm going to put the link of it in the description box below. So she's raising awareness about financial abuse, and this is CBS This Morning YouTube channel that I saw this on. And when I first saw this, it just triggered me because I've talked about this a bit when I was describing recognizing coercive abuse, and I used the story of a Nigerian singer, Tiwa Savage, and that of Tonto Dike, who is a Nigerian actress. I mentioned about Mel B, who is a Spice Girls girl band of UK, music girl band in UK. And one of the key things that I touched on that video is that coercive abuse comes mostly in the form of financial abuse. So I just want to take this opportunity to just focus on financial abuse because I just stand by Serena raising this awareness on financial abuse, and I think it's something that is not talked about enough, and it's not brought to awareness, especially to people of color, especially to African people, that these are things that they're experiencing. Financial abuse can actually be experienced by a man or a woman. So I'll give you a definition of financial abuse. So financial abuse is a type of abuse that relates to money or other properties being stolen, being defrauded, being put under pressure in relation to money or other property, and having money or other property misused. So what is in this case is that someone is trying to use money to control you. I prefer the definition of you being put under pressure in relation to money and being defrauded or your property being misused. That one is the one areas that I find that most financial abuse falls in. In most cases where money or property is stolen, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're being financial abused, just may mean that the person is a thief. It's that simple. So, but when you're put under pressure, unnecessary pressure, especially to say in relation to money, you may be experiencing financial abuse. Okay, I read that definition from a website called handcrafttrust.org, and you can also find this on Women's Aid, which Mel B used to promote her platform on talking about coercive abuse and other issues that she experienced in her relationship. So as I mentioned, this can equally apply to men where the woman is continuously putting you under financial pressure to provide and making you feel like you're not man enough because you are not meeting her every desire, not necessarily need, but if the person has a lavish lifestyle, that is one way you are being financially exploited or abused. Okay, so why did I want to talk about it and why did it trigger me? It triggered me most because I find that in recent culture there is this promotion in women that they feel that they need to be the breadwinner in the household. And I think this is almost like a Western culture that has triggered trickled in every area of the world now, that you have to be the head, never the tail. In a relationship, there shouldn't be any particular head. Talk about tails, because when it comes to finance or when it comes to relationship, everyone should be contributing something or the other. For the man, if they're contributing finance, they're possibly something else that the woman is contributing. And if it's the woman that is contributing the financial aspect, there should be something that a man is contributing in terms of the supportive roles and also contribute to some level the financial sustainability. You do not want to marry someone that you will wait on you every single time to give you money for food. Let's say, for example, if the man doesn't earn that day, if they're self-employed by any chance, then the household would not eat. That doesn't help the household. I am all about the man being a breadwinner for the family, but I am still also smart enough to know that you cannot totally rely on one income stream to provide for you. You need to have something so that if the man is not around, you can dip into your own pocket to get something. So, in relation to financial abuse, then, I find again, as I mentioned, in today's culture, women are actually the ones placing themselves in the position to be financially abused, where they're the ones providing for the man in the relationship. And at times, if they're in a marriage, then they are also bearing the burdens of the relationship and the family. So I gave an example in that video of coercive abuse where a woman was put under pressure by the man in the family relationship. This is in the marriage actually. Was put under the financial pressure to always go and be the one to seek out for the money and bring it home, whilst his money is not being used in the family. And that was what happened also with Tiwa Savage. She was the one hustling and bustling her ass off. Sorry to use that word, but like working so hard to provide for her family. She brings it home. She feeds the husband. She feeds the child. She also has to take care of herself and all her business associates and the employees that she has. All those money relied on her money. Whilst it's her business, we get it. The guy was her manager as well, or her husband. So, what was my own thing about this is that sometimes we need to have more of a clear, defined role and allow those people to perform that role in that relationship. I The woman that I spoke who was put under pressure by her husband to go out and make money and bring it in home is the same as if a woman always expects. I mean, this is the type of woman that just spends on my husband's money kind of thing, but doesn't really think to manage it to help the family. And I'm looking at this as people that uses the money in a way that is selfish to them only. Okay, so selfish against their partner, where the money is always for them but never for the family or for the for the partner that they are with. So they gave different examples, and this part I'm reading it from verywellmind.com, and they gave different example on how financial abuse can take place. and that is called one, exploiting your resources. So for example, someone trying to control the use or access to money that you earned, that or saved. So they are the ones expecting you to tap into your savings, that you have money, or the person that has money say, can't you use your money that you have to do something? They are always controlling your savings or telling you to go. You see, one of the key things that you need to recognize is the ones that tell you to put all the like to put financial assets, not assets. Um, okay, let me give an example. So, for example, if you're buying something, let's say for as example a car, and the person, and this is going to be used by you, both of you, is a family car, and the person simply wants you to put all those heavy amounts of money on your name and be the one to take out financial aids, be it loan or for housing, be it loan for a car, loan for house maintenance, whatever loan it could be, on your name, and then both of you will use that money. But the reason why that becomes a level of financial abuse is when the person is not also meeting the task when it's required on their own part, because the person can just leave the relationship and all those burdens becomes on you because it's you that took that money. So that is another form, another example where you may think, am I being financially exploited here? And especially if they are not contributing to paying back that amount of money that both of you borrowed, or you borrowed to support both of you. So that's exploiting your resources. Another one is using your assets for their own personal benefits without asking. Another example of exploiting your resources is taking money or using credit cards without permission. Another one is running up history by and then not paying back. So that means they use all your income and never pay back, or they use your credit card and run it up to its limit and then don't pay back. Another one is claiming or making payments on your claiming to make payments or pay bills in your name but not following it through, borrowing money or making changes without repaying it, feeling entitled to your assets, demanding that you turn over your paycheck, password and credits. There is a current video that was shown on BBC, and that was in regards to, I think it was police records or things like that. It was about looking into cases that put the police in the UK were sorting out. And in this, I've forgotten the title of that video. If I find it, I'll link it below. It was shown on BBC One. And I watched this video. And what happened in this video, this is a very great example of financial abuse and even to some extent modern day slavery, as the lady put it too, is that this particular person had a friend. I'm just giving you an example of how someone is demanding your paycheck and have access, control how you use your money and all those things. Even if you're not good at using money, no one should be able to control how you use that money. If someone wants to help you, there is no need for you to be giving all your paycheck to the person. Does that make sense? Someone wants to help you, they can allow you to save some aspects of your money, a little amount of money, and then you have to be in an agreement that you do that, and then you have the bulk financial um money left. Sorry, the bulk of the money left. So in this video that the police showed, this lady was a friend with his ex-schoolmate at that time, and she reported to the police that she was being financially abused, or as she put it, she felt that she was being enslaved by her friend and her friend's father. They were controlling her money. She said they would give her, like, she will work, and they will take money from her benefits, and they'll control how she uses her benefits. So they would probably give her £20 per week to use for her benefits. They took her passports, they took her bills, they took control of how she made use of her money. This woman was so skinny to the bone, And when the police finally intervened, you could see this woman change altogether. She gained weight. She's able to control what food that she eats. She was able to control how she lives. I mean, they controlled her to the T that even they covered the blinds of her window and threatened her if she took out those blinds. The when I mean blinds, like blacked out blinds on her windows, and threatened her if she ever took them out. So that is one way of someone financially abusing you. Okay. Another one they mentioned about interfering with your job. This is about criticizing you or minimizing your job or choice of career, pressurizing you to quit your job, sometimes even using your children as an excuse. Um, Another one is telling you that what you can or what you can, where you can or where you cannot work. Um, Sabotaging your workplace responsibility, harassing you by calling you, texting you, and all those, preventing you from holding the key or key also to, let me say, debit card of passcodes to your debit cards to take out money. Another example is on identifying financial abuse from this website. You mentioned about controlling sacred assets, criticizing you on every financial decision that you make, reducing your freedom to plan or budget, making large financial decisions without your input, and then expecting you to bear the burdens, refusing to collaborate on finances, hiding or taking funds and putting them in private accounts, insisting that you share your own income but refusing to share theirs. That is the key one. Refusing to work or contribute to the family income. Oh gosh. When I mean refusing to work or contributing, that means even if you're not working, you are somewhere supporting the family to progress. Does that make sense? I really advise that you watch Tiwa Savage story, because there's a lot of financial abuse that actually took place in her own domestic abuse situation, as well as Tonto Dike, who went ahead and paid for her bride price and her wedding, with the husband promising to pay back but never paid back. She also mentioned that the husband failed to pay for the child's school fees, that the child got into trouble for that, and she had to come and be the rescue. In her situation, it's kind of, I don't know how to put it, but the guy himself was a fraudster, so, and she knew it a little bit, and she had an idea of it, and at least. But I don't know if hers was so much of you knew but you didn't take heed than um of financial abuse. But I think there was elements of financial abuse that can be justified in her own situation. But because at this point she was the one being the breadwinner in the case, or should I say the breadwinner, the one supporting the family, supporting herself in the family to say. There was other ones that they mentioned that you should be aware of. So the key ones I mentioned here is controlling shared assets, and this is simply taking complete control over the money in the relationship and you having little to no access to it. Interfering with your work means they try or gain control on your ability to earn, how much you can earn, where you should work. They may even send you work every single time to go and earn. It's like those people that work in it's like slavery. They'll tell you to go and maybe say you come from back from this work, you go to the next job. You're not doing that of your own choice, but you're doing it for someone demanding that you work more or take longer hours at work in order to fulfill whatever financial gain that they wish to gain. Okay, and they keep interfering in your income potential. Um, Another one that I mentioned is the exploiting of resources, and that is person again taking control over money that you earned or saved and exploiting it for their own resources. Like in Tiwa Savage case, the man will go and buy on credit and then comes back on Tiwa Savage to pay for those things. So I really stand on Serena Williams for being bold enough to come out and speak about it. And I think in the Black community, in most cases, these things are not spoken about. I always find that it's the woman that burdens some of them. Some women are the ones that takes the burden of not only supporting the family with child rearing and all those things, but others are still placed or demanded, even though their husband is capable in providing financially. The woman is still demanded to be the one to support the person financially and bear any consequences that came out of that relationship. You actually don't have to beg for money to be given to you to support the family, as this is for the family. Both people, adults in that relationship, benefits. Okay, so I just stand by Serena in this situation. It's so important that we raise awareness to this particular issue, financial issue. And this also occurs in family members where, let's say, for example, the son is abusing the parents by making them work unnecessary amounts of hours in order to fulfill their lifestyle. So we need to also recognize this in families, and also where, let's say, an elderly person is being controlled by their son or daughter in the money that they use. For example, if, let's say, for example, some people that like to send money back to Africa, they are sending it to their brother or whoever that is in town over there to help use it to look after their parents, but then they do not actually give the money that is given for the to the parents or use it for the parents' sake. That one is more of like exploitation that you may not know until you are there. Or you sending money to help ask someone to help build your house, and then they are using it for their own sake and build their own house. That has happened. I've had that story several times. It's become like so normalized, and then you find yourself coming back to nothing. That is financial exploitation and abuse. So I think it's so important that we take heed to all these issues, and make people financial literates. I'll also advise you watch or listen to a program called Dave Ramsey Show. I like hearing some of the stories that people bring up there, and some of them are quite crazy. But then you realize that's one of the key things that breaks down a family is finance, and people bring their stories. Some are abused, some people are controlled, especially when you all have a debt like together, and the other person is not willing to try and fight off that debt or reduce it, but right, some people like piling up debts. It can come under financial abuse because at this point you are being put under unnecessary pressure to pay off debts that you have even accumulated by yourself. So lack of money management should not be a reason anyways for anyone to exploit you as well. On that note, I'll leave this video here. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye. Talk on soon.